This I think is one of the creepier places in here. Can you tap on something? Can you scratch something? This place is freaking old. It looks like a big bear claw, but yeah, that was for stopping humans getting in or out. I ain't going anywhere. All right, this one, that's pretty good. They did flog and they did punish prisoners here. They would be lashed, whipped across their back.
You hearing noises in there?
Sentenced to spend up to a month in this room. Most of the dark energy, people say there's something evil in here.
That sounded like it was in the house, like just in here.
Used to talk to an elderly woman on these stairs. What did they do to you in here? Hey Crypt Keepers, thank you for tuning into AmysCrypt. Tonight we are going on lockdown to investigate a very haunted prison here in Tasmania, Australia. In fact, this is the oldest intact prison that is in Australia. This place dates back to 1825 and is said to be very, very haunted, so stay tuned. The Richmond Gaol is the oldest still intact prison in Australia. It exists in Tasmania and dates back to 1825. The prison was a brutal place to spend time, where prisoners endured hard labour and punishments, such as solitary confinement and lashings. With an incredibly long history, the jail is claimed to be extremely haunted. I was granted the rare opportunity to visit the jail in the dead of night to conduct a paranormal investigation. It ended up being one of my scariest nights ever. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm standing in the courtyard of this prison. This is known as the Richmond Gaol. You'll find it in Richmond, Tasmania. And if you're ever down this way, I highly recommend visiting. This place is so filled with history. It's so old and it's amazingly intact as well. It's such an interesting place. So I'm going to take you around for a tour before we lose the sunlight completely. But as you can see here, 1825. This place is freaking old. And yes, it is said to be quite haunted, so let me show you around. That sounds so good. Alright, so where we're walking into is actually one of the oldest parts of this jail. So this is the part that dates back to 1825, and it was sort of different to a lot of the jails that you'll see. This place wasn't really like filled with cells. This was just a place where it was just jam-packed with prisoners. They were all shoved in here. There wasn't really a space to yourself. Everyone, would just be standing room only. A lot of the times prisoners were spilled out into the hallway. They weren't in specific rooms. So it's kind of interesting, and you can just imagine the conditions that this place would have had and that this place would have seen being that crowded back in those times in the early 1800s Australia, where all of the convicts were largely sent over from, the UK. So I want to take you into this very back cell, like straight off the bat. This I think is one of the creepier places in here. It's actually a punishment cell. So if prisoners did the wrong thing, they were put into this room. It actually isn't that small, but there is no light source at all in here. They were typically put into leg irons, which if you look down here, you don't know what leg irons are. It is these things. Now these would go around your ankles, I suppose. And you'd get sort of locked in like this. And these are freaking heavy as well, guys. These are so heavy. So, I mean, imagine just being locked in this room with these on your feet. You can't go anywhere. You can't really do much. You can't really get up and kind of move around even. I think that one of the nicknames for these was something like shufflers, because that's literally all that you could do. Plus, you're chained to the wall. So it's pretty bleak to be in here. There are some more solitary cells that I will show you, and they're perhaps even worse than this one. Now I'm going to take you into this room. This, I've heard there's actually quite a fair amount of activity in here. This is a friggin' human trap. It looks like a big bear claw, but yeah, that was for stopping humans getting in or out of the area. Now this is actually a room where a lot of the workers of the jail would be kept, and the workers and even the main jail warden were actually convicts themselves a lot of the time. Now we'll go into this other room. I think this is actually one of my favourite areas of the jail as well. It's so creepy and there's so many cool points of interest in here. Something in here I want to show you. So if you look down here, 8 men actually escaped through this. So what they did was they, cut through the floorboards and then dug a massive hole, removed a bunch of the stone foundation of the building to escape, and they actually escaped and they got away. What is kind of cool as well, and like a little superstition thing that was probably brought over from England, it's quite prevalent over there, is they found a whole bunch of shoes like within the stonework of the building. And that was something that used to be put into the stonework of the building kind of to protect the place from things such as witches and spirits. It was thought by putting those items in there, it would confuse the spirits and kind of trap them in the area, and you'll hear of things like shoes, toys, even cats being like solidified within the walls of buildings. And I just think it's interesting that superstition made it down here to Australia. So I don't know, they've got a whole bunch of shoes down there. We also have this walkway here. It's extremely low. Oh. And this kind of shows a bed. I mean, I'm guessing conditions were harsh. This could have actually been what their beds looked like, but it's a freaking potato sack. Like, imagine sleeping on that. Like, so in this display case, we actually have a couple more leg irons, we have locks, and we also have the cat o' nine tails. So this is like a lever whip used obviously to whip people, and they did flog and they did punish prisoners here, and they did that a lot. They even have a flogging yard, which I will show and explain to you in just a sec. But yeah, punishment was a big part of the life here in this jail. They didn't do any executions here, which normally goes hand in hand with hauntings, but there was a lot of stuff that went on here that could definitely have related to ghosts. We also have a typical kind of convict suit here. This one's known as a magpie, and this was also a form of punishment. If you were naughty, you were put in one of these things, not only because the wall was like super hot and itchy on a hot Australian summer day, but this was also colours that you didn't want to wear. It was embarrassing for people to be put into this outfit. It's almost like reminiscent of a medieval clown is how they designed it. And yeah, it was just a punishment because people could see that you're just this person who kept reoffending, so they hated that. All right, let's move on to the next building. All right guys, so since I was just talking about it, I've brought you straight into the flogging yard, and this was where prisoners would come to be punished. They were whipped with that cat o' nine tails that I showed you earlier. Now, there were a lot of lashings given out here. People could get sentenced anywhere up to 50 lashings. They were brought over here, and they're actually kind of strapped somehow onto this pyramid, and then they were whipped across the back, which is quite horrible. And what I've learned today is they would always have a medical practitioner here because you could get quite hurt doing this. I did also read somewhere as well that a lot of places around Australia which did, flogging, they actually put a special protective belt on the prisoners which was used to protect their kidneys, and it's not believed that they used that protective belt here. So if, say, someone got sentenced to 50 lashings, they would be lashed, whipped across their back. If they lost too much blood, they suffered a really bad skin wound from these lashes, they passed out and they couldn't complete their full 50 lashings, they would typically be put away, usually in solitary confinement, till they had healed, and then be brought back to finish their sentence once they were healed, which, I mean, imagine going through halfway through your lashings, then you can't go on anymore, and just knowing that you have to come back for more. It's horrible. But yeah, this area was where a lot of punishment kind of was undertaken, and apparently there's some activity and people get weird feelings in here. So we'll definitely be out here tonight, I think. Now over the other side of the yard, probably the creepiest area. So this is the men's solitary, and this is where probably the most paranormal activity has been reported, and I'll show you why. Alright, let's come in. So again, this area was used for punishment. That was a massive part of life here. And let's just go into this first cell. Step right on in. There are so many cobwebs in here. As far as punishment goes, people could be sentenced, if they did something wrong, sentenced to spend up to a month in this room. All you had to eat or drink was bread and water. They were your only rations. You were left in here in complete darkness, complete silence, to kind of repent on what you had done. And you were just left with your rations, as well as a bucket. Obviously, you guys can probably guess what the bucket is for. So imagine being in here for up to a month. There's not enough room to swing a cat in here. Now, I've been told quite a few stories about this area. I've been told the third cell, 2, 3. Actually, this one is freezing cold, so let's step in right now. Oh, yeah. It's really cold, right?
Yeah.
This is said to be maybe the darkest cell here, so where most of the dark energy comes from. People say there's something evil in here. Apparently people have been dared to spend the night in here and have failed. They haven't been able to do it. I don't know how true that story is, but I've definitely heard of people coming in and being overcome by some negative energy. I've even been told that as recently as a week ago, people who have passed through in the day just to come visit have been poked in the back while coming through here. So there's definitely something that gets a little touchy-feely in here. And I don't know, I can just tell this cell feels a lot colder temperature-wise than the other ones. I'll show you the rest of the cells and then we'll keep moving because there's a lot of ground to cover here, guys. Alright, so there's one more cell here, and then if we swing around this way, there's like a whole nother wing of cells. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're so puny. I can't imagine spending a whole month in there. That is enough to drive you a little insane, I think. Back to some spooky stuff. This is actually more solitary confinement cells, but these ones are specifically for the women who are kept here. So both male and female prisoners were kept here. Now the male and the females were supposed to be separate in the beginning when everyone was just crammed into that one big room I showed you. It was pretty impossible, but I guess later on down the track they did have separate quarters. And just showing you these cells here, they look very, very similar to what the men had on the opposite side of the yard here. So again, not very much room, pretty dank, pretty depressing to spend up to a month in here. And then we have 4. There's a really cool one down the end, which I'll show you, because this one actually depicts a prisoner in here. And you can see her sitting there pretty sad looking with a bucket. This is actually basically a washing machine from the 1800s. So what we're walking into is actually the Jayls Residence. So this is a lovely old house that has quite a bit of layers of history to it, but basically it was where the jailer who kind of oversaw all the prisoners, who I must add it was typically also a convict themselves. They actually lived here, and a lot of the times they lived here with their families. And it's one of the families that's said to kind of remain here to haunt the place, which I'll talk to in just a sec. This room we're actually kind of using as like a little home base, so all my equipment's set up in here. But I like this one because it also details the families that were here. Now, Randall Young, who was the jailer here from 1835 to 1842, had a number of children who lived in this house with him. He had 5 young kids here, and it's those kids that are actually said to haunt this place. There's also been sightings of a woman in here with a pink dress, and a couple who actually owned and lived in the jail for a number of years. Supposedly their daughter used to talk to an elderly woman on these stairs out here. So I'm not sure who the spirit of this elderly woman could have been, but you know, a lot of people believe that kids are more in tune and they're more sensitive to the spirit realm than adults generally are. So I think that's really interesting. So we've just come up the stairs, and the first room here on the right is this grand old room. We've got these old iron beds as well, which really just set the mood, I guess. And it really gives it a creepy vibe just because there's not much else in this room. Across from here, we actually have a really great view of the yard. So that's something, of course, the jailer would want, right? They want to keep an eye on stuff. And finally, we have another grand room here. And this was, I'm guessing this was a possession of someone who used to live here. And they have the Lord's Prayer above the fireplace. So I found that kind of interesting as well. Alright guys, so now I've given you a really good look around. We've gone over a number of the ghost stories, a little bit of the history, so I hope that you guys appreciate this site. It's really, really cool, and again, if you are in Tasmania, please come and visit. This place is even older than Port Arthur, which is the most famous penitentiary that is down here. So it's really, really amazing. It's really, really cool. But I think we're just waiting now for the sun to go down, and then we'll jump straight into our paranormal investigation. Alright guys, so we've just moved our operation into the jailer's house. And this is supposed to be one of the more active areas, and I thought we would kick off tonight's investigation here just because of that. I know the cells and the flogging yard and solitary cells are all creepy and that, but it's still interesting to me that, you know, families lived here and there is children present at the jail. So I thought we would reach out on the staircase. There was caretakers of the jail that lived here for a number of years, and supposedly the young daughter actually used to talk to an older woman on the staircase. There's also thought to be the kids of Randall and Hannah Young who remain here. They were jailers in the 1830s, so a long, long time ago, but I do like to try and communicate with child spirits, and I think that these light up. Cat balls are the best way to do it. If they move at all, they light up like this. So it's very, very interesting to me when they do light up for no good reason. So we set them up and down the staircase. We're kind of on the mid-level. And then I've also got a K2 meter out. So we're going to go completely lights out, start reaching out and see if we can get any activity. Okay, Crypt Keepers, so I've just taken up a seat, basically. I thought it would be good to just sit on the floor since we're trying to communicate with little kids. And then just reach out and we'll see what happens. Hi, my name is Amy and I'm visiting with my mother, Sonia. We've come to the jailer's house. And we would love to know if there's anybody still taking up residence here inside of this property. I've heard that there's children here. I've heard that there's a woman in a pink dress, and I've heard that there's an elderly lady who is actually on these stairs. Can you give us a sign that you're here? You can do that by making a noise, touching one of us, or touching one of these balls that I've left on the stairs. They're really fun if you can move them like I just did to this one. It will light up and flash different colours. Can you walk up the stairs or possibly walk down the stairs towards us? We're not here to hurt you. I actually brought something with me for you and I hope that you like it. So I'm going to play some music for you, and I think it's really, really cool music, very nice. So if you do enjoy it and you do like this music, could you please show us and just touch one of the balls? We've brought them here for you to play with. I hope that you enjoyed the music. If you did and you want me to play it again, I'm happy to. If you could just please give me a sign that you are here, and then I'm happy to play that for you again. Are there any of the young children here? I've heard there was 5 of you. It must be nice to have that many brothers and sisters. I only have 2 sisters. Remember, it's this easy to show me that you're here, or to show me that you liked that song. You can touch any one of the balls, anyone. There's 5 of them on the stairs. Okay, so I think that we should go up onto the top level now. We'll continue investigating, maybe try some different techniques, because the top level is actually where the jailers lived, so they pretty much just lived on the top level, not really so much on the bottom. And if this family is still here, then I'm guessing the spirits would more gravitate towards where they lived at the top, so I might try and reach out and use some different tools. Alright, so we've just moved from the staircase up into one of the top rooms, probably the bedroom, I'm gonna guess, since there's 2 beds in here, and I thought I would just reach out on a spirit box and see if we can make contact with
any of the spirits that may still linger here. So let's go, lights off. Hi, my name is Amy and I've come into this home with my mother Sonia, and we would really love to know if there's anyone still here. Is there anyone who was part of a jailer's family? I know there was a number of children that used to live here. Are there any little kids here? I'm just looking to make new friends. So my name is Amy. If you can use this noisy device in my hand, maybe you can tell me what your name is.
Is there a bang down there?
That was my foot.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell me what your favourite colour is? My favourite colour is yellow. Maybe there's a lady here. If so, can you say hello? Could you possibly introduce yourself? Tell me your name. What was it like to live at the Richmond Gaol? Did you like to live here? I just heard a female voice then, but I couldn't make out anything. Can you tell me where you came from? Where were you born? So I'm just going to cut that. I did hear a snippet of a woman's voice. I couldn't really tell if it was saying a word, but maybe that was someone like Hannah Young, who used to live here, maybe trying to communicate and come through. Are you hearing noises in there?
I just heard something, yeah, when you were talking. Did you?
Yeah, let's walk in here.
Just be careful because there's the stairs there though.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Yeah, hold my hand.
You've gone blurry. Oh, jeez.
Is there someone in here? Were you just making a noise? Were you trying to get us to come visit you? I don't mean to scare you, but if you could give us a sign that you're here, we could be friends. Alright guys, I just hit record on the Ghost Tube app. This is an app Jared and I developed ourselves. You can download for free. Links are below. If there is somebody here, can you come close to my hand? If you do, we might be able to see that you're in the room with us. This does measure spikes in electromagnetic energy. Maybe you can use this device to tell me who you are. You give me a name. It's a definite noise then.
Yeah,
That sounded like it was in the house, like just in here.
it did.
Is there somebody coming up the stairs? Can you come up to the top rooms here, please? I'd love to talk to Randall Young, Hannah Young, or any of their children. There are 5 children who lived here. So I had some taps then, but that could be on the roof maybe? Can you come close to my hand? I promise I won't hurt you. Just gonna come. Can you tell me what this is on the table? Guys, we're in the punishment cell at the back of the oldest area of the jail, and to me this is like the eeriest, one of the eeriest spots, so I thought let's investigate, and I'm going to try a little experiment. I'm actually going to try and get into these leg irons. Oh my gosh. I have set up a couple of pieces of equipment though.
You're setting that one off.
Yeah, that's just me, guys. Right in front of me here, I've got a K2 meter that measures electromagnetic interference. So some people believe that ghosts can manipulate and give that off. So if this lights up, that's kind of interesting. It's steady right now, so there's nothing interfering with it in the floors of the walls. I also have these, I call them cat balls. Basically, they need to be physically moved, and if they are, they will light up. So it's always interesting when they light up on their own. Now, oh my god. How the heck? I'm guessing you didn't have to leg iron yourself back in the day. And I'm guessing you also had a pin to go through here, like a peg. Oh no. Stay on my feet. Okay. That's pretty good. I ain't going anywhere. Alright, this one, that's pretty good. Alright, this one, that's pretty good. Leg ironed on, I've got my balls set up, I've got this set up, and I think we should go lights out. It is so dark in here. Now I've turned that light off, it's completely pitch black. I couldn't imagine just being left in here, but let's reach out. Hi, my name is Amy and I'm visiting with Sonia, and we have come here to communicate with anybody at the Richmond Gaol. Is there anyone in this room with us? Can you give us a sign to let us know you're here? All you need to do is move one of the balls I've placed around the room. You can also come close to me, this green light that's on the floor in front of me. If you come close to that, you can trigger it to light up some more lights, and that just tells me that you're here, you're near me, you're interested, and you want to talk. Maybe you can make a noise for me. What was that?
That was just my. That was me. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Can you knock on the walls? Can you make that noise for me? So I feel really weird about having these on, like, I mean, I can't really move because they're not done up, but you would have so limited mobility anyway with these on. Were you left here in leg irons before? What was it like to spend a long time in leg irons in this room? What did you do to get put in here? I can hear these birds singing.
Yeah, I can hear the birds and a dog barking in the distance before.
It's weird. Can you come down and sit next to me? Either side of me, please. Can you move my chain? Hot in here.
It is hot. I'm sweating.
It's not even a hot day. I mean, it's night now, but it's like, it's not even that warm. What I might get you to do, Mum, can you just stand up?
Yeah. Oh God, I can't see a thing. Oh,
Yeah, it's dark.
so dark.
Can you spin around and open the door?
What, in the dark? Can't see how to open it.
Just open it a crack. Alright, now spin back to me. Alright, I've just opened the door to the cell. Can you come in? I thought this was supposed to be a punishment cell. How did they treat you in here? What did they do to you in here? I can hear little noises around the place, but I want you to come in here. Come into the punishment cell. Can you step inside the punishment cell? Can you slam that door, lock us in? We've been really, really bad. You wouldn't believe what we've done. I've really, really hurt someone. I need to be punished. You better lock me in.
There's a cool breeze coming in from us. I can feel it's cool over the door open.
Can you close that door for us? Slam it.
It's not icy cold though.
It's probably just nice.
Jesus. That bird was loud. It's pretty creepy.
It's very creepy.
Alright guys, been as we are back here, this is, I'm just going to call this the man trap room because it's got that big, filthy, bloody, great big man trap on the floor. Oh, the thing, it looks nasty, like that could seriously do some damage. Now I have been told that this is quite an active room. I don't know that the paranormal activity is associated with that thing. I friggin' hope not, because if that, killed someone and there's a spirit attached to it, that just freaks me out. But yeah, I'm gonna reach out, so we're gonna go lights off, and I might just use a K2 meter in here. Boom, we're lights out. So I've got my K2 meter here, guys. You can just see the green light at the moment, but it can light all the way up to red, depending on whether the electromagnetic field around it is disturbed. People believe spirits can disturb that, so it's interesting if it spikes for no reason. My name is Amy, and I'm reaching out to any spirits that could be in this particular room. I've heard that there are some in here, some people, and maybe they want to communicate. If you do, just come close to me. If you come and shake my hand, then I can probably tell that you're here. Maybe I can feel you. Maybe I can see visually that you're there, because you can light more lights than just this green one up on this device. It can go all the way to red. Can you give me a noise? Can you tap on something? Can you scratch something? Can you tell me something about yourself? Anything. Where you're from, who your best friend is, what your name is, what your last name is. Were you ever married? Hello? We're also locked in this jail by ourselves, guys. That there's something evil in here. I feel like I just heard something behind me. And whipped across the back. I can't really see what I'm doing. Guys, this actually has graffiti on here. Holy crap. Okay, wow. We've got two going up. What the? I think there's something in here. I think I also heard a voice.
It's in the room with us.
Let's get the out of here. There's banging in there. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Also make sure that you've got your post notification bell switched on, because I have a part 2 video coming up to this episode really soon. If you want to do a little bit more reading about the old Richmond Gaol or any of the other haunted places I visited around the world, then head to my website AmysCrypt.com. You guys can also follow me on social media. I'm at AmysCrypt on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching, Crypt Keepers. Until next time.